Hello everyone, and welcome to your daily extended reading for the full moon in Libra, which happens on the 19th of April 2019. And here where I live, it happens around 1 p.m. And just after that, the sun changes signs and enters Taurus after being for a month in the sign of Aries, in a very fiery sign of Aries. But still, these are the energies present for this full moon. It's most of all fire. It's not, when I was looking at the chart, it's not an easy one, I would say. It's quite complicated. Of course, there is opposition between Sun and Moon as always, but there's also a T-square between Sun, Moon and the stellium in a Capricorn, which is the node, the Pluto and Saturn. So, interesting times, I think. And I feel very, very fiery energy here. So we're gonna start with Fiery Bell, which sounds very optimistic. This is the most optimistic one. And it's connected in this full moon with air energy, because the moon is going to be in Libra. A very different one, reflective one. So two different elements ruling here. As you can see, the cards are already on the table because I was doing this reading in my native language first. And as you can see, I have 4 cards for overall energy. At first there were only 3 of them, but then I added another one. And 1 card for each sign of zodiac. If it wasn't very promising or it seems quite pessimistic, I added another card just not to leave you like that. Okay, I think we can start the reading now. One more thing. Please check what you were doing at the last full moon. It was also in Libra. So this full moon is quite spectacular because it is, I can't remember how you call it in English. Is it celestial or blue full moon? What I mean is that once in 3 years, there are 13 full moons in a year. Because we have 12 months, but they are longer than moon periods. And that's why it slowly accumulates, and once in 3 years we have 13th, 13th full moon. And this is the one. It happens in the same sign. So it's very important to retrospect and look what you were doing at the last full moon, what topics occurred, what was your progress, what was your regression perhaps, because these themes, these topics are gonna reappear, and this is a perfect time to seal something, to reconnect with this energy and sum up what was or what is the progress, what happened during this time. Okay? As you can see in today's reading, I'm using the Untitled Tarot. Great cards. I love the backs, I love the size. And it is indeed very fiery. We have King of Wands as the first card. This is the Master of Fire. This is the one who rules fire, not the other way. The fire doesn't rule King of Wands. So it's very much about being creative, decisive, and knowing what you want. And you start with this card. I mean, the progression here is important to me. So you may feel that your fire is burning very brightly and that you can do things, that you are the master of creativity and putting things into motion also. Acting quickly is required here, and being sure of what you're doing. So you start with this very high, privileged position of Master of Fire. But then you change it. You change yourself into the Prince of Wands. The person that is lower in the hierarchy, right? It's the one who still learns. The movement is needed here, very, very much. You need to learn by moving, learn by acting. Again, fiery, masculine energy present. So, for some of you, it means that if you thought you are in a stable position, you may encounter the fact that you're not, that you still need to address some issues in order to feel safe, in order to progress, in order to be the real Master of Fire. Especially that the third card is disappointment, Five of Hearts, change of direction. Always, fives are always those tipping points, turning points in your journey. There is too much of negative experience here. That's why the change of direction is needed. And you will. But what you may feel is sorrow, sadness, disappointment, grief. Because what seemed to be a perfect form of some energy turned out to be imperfect. Whether it is about you, it can be about you, it can be about someone else, it can be about your love interest. It doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman. This is a general reading, so it's just about progression here. It's not the other way. It's not the other way. It's this way. And it isn't welcome. It isn't welcomed with happy heart. It's a sad heart. It's a heavy heart. Because what you expected to be said and done and sealed isn't. You still need to change. You still need to learn. Or someone is not that perfect as you thought. But I usually read for the people I read for. So it's general energy, whether it is about you or someone else. There's still something to be done here. And the first impulse, the first thought, the first feeling is that of sadness. How could I invest myself so much in something that is not perfect, that is not done yet? I thought it was over. I thought this was the pinnacle, but it wasn't. So there may be this feeling of disapproval for yourself with Five of Hearts. That's the core of the sadness. That something isn't as I thought it's gonna be, as I felt. So I'm a little disappointed in myself, perhaps, that I wasn't clever enough, foreseeing enough. Don't do it. Well, you can, of course. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I pulled another card to make it clearer, and it showed me Ten of Swords, which is a very painful card, right? It says about the end of something. But it also tells me this disappointment is very much needed in order to finish some unproductive way of being or way of thinking, perhaps, because thoughts are connected with the mind, the way we process information. It is needed in order to leave this path that led you to some illusion. You are no longer illusioned, you are disillusioned. And in the light of the greatest good, your highest and greatest good, that I always take into consideration in these readings, this is my intention, your greatest good. It is needed to end this, because it leads you nowhere. And if you need this feeling of disappointment, which is not very pleasant, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. Every feeling and every emotion is needed. So just accept it the way it is. Just process it without trying, without pretending that it's not this, that it's something else, that it never happened. Yeah, it happened. The king turned out to be a prince. And if you look at this, without attachment, there's nothing wrong in it, really. We need both princes and kings. It's just the way you were looking at this that led you astray. So you may feel disappointment, but it's not going to last long. Of course, this energy is characteristic to the full moon, but it can extend for several days after this. All right? So that's the main message here. That's the main story, I would say. And now for the signs of zodiac. First we have Libra. Libra is gonna progress very swiftly, quickly into the next card, 5 of Hearts. Now we have 6 of Cups, which is the next card. Libra will find comfort in every day life and in little pleasures that life is full of. You can see here in the deck I'm using, it's Sun and Moon Tarot. You can see people just enjoying the shallow water and water lilies and being together and just enjoying life as it is under the full moon. So I think for you, it's gonna be an easy peasy task to swallow. And it's great. Also Scorpio takes it as Scorpio can. You have King of Wands. It's like, okay, I understand now. I see what I did or what someone did, but I still want to manifest as King of Wands. Or I still want someone who manifests as King of Wands, and I'm going to stick to it. That's my goal. I'm not going to attract other energies that I don't need in my life now. Okay, perhaps I acted as Prince of Wands. I wasn't that reliable and perfect, but I want to be reliable. And I want to be Master of Fire, and that's what I'm going to focus on. So it's it's like a very short shower, just dripping off of you very quickly. Sagittarius, you have 8 of Wands, another quick energy, and it's your card. So you may find yourself, I think, in a process. You know it's a process. You know that in order to be right in time, in the right place, in the right time, it needed to happen. I have this feeling of synchronicity here with you. That you feel whatever disappointment happens here is part of your journey. And you're like Iron Man here. You just take out your hand and a rainbow sprouts out of it, and you embrace or break anything that is in front of you that is standing in your path. whether it is needed or not, right? You're just working it out. So another brave sign in this situation. And Capricorn, you are no other. You have the star. You're the only one who has the major arcana card. So this may be a very nice full moon for you. I have a feeling that you have a great chance to understand something about yourself and about your path in the world. Especially with those energies of Pluto and Saturn in your sign, especially for those of you born in second decade, I think, or even the third now. Where is it? Yeah, it's rather, yeah, at the beginning of the third decade, so about the 10th to the 15th of January. You are under great influence of those two planets and the conjunction between them. But still, it's your path, and now you're restructuring your life. And in order to serve the world the best you can, you need to transform your world. And this is part of this transformation. I think you see it from a broader perspective. That's why it doesn't really make you feel imbalanced or shocked. Nothing like this happens because you are rooted deeply in your belief, in your hope, and in your vision. Where do I belong in the universe? You may know it already, or you may take a great step to discover it now. Aquarius. Aquarius is another story. Aquarius sees this regression as failure. This card is called failure. Of course, it's when we use Thoth system, it's called failure. It doesn't have to be read like this in Rider-Waite-Smith, for example. It's understood in a different way. I'm taking something in between. So some of you may feel like you failed. But in this card you can see what are you doing to yourself. You're really creating those circles encompassing you and imprisoning you. You're doing it to yourself by the way you process whatever happened here, by the way you process emotions. The regression from King of Wands to Prince of Wands and the sadness that you feel about it, they don't mean that you failed. It's temporary. It's a lesson and it's your choice. What do you do with it? The best way to do with a lesson is evaluate it. Evaluate what happened. Without judging, I would say. These are not the same words, right? Evaluation and judging. So don't judge yourself. Don't call it in harsh words. Don't be harsh to yourself. Just take it as it is. And as I said, it's a lesson. So there's something to learn here. If you do it, if you evaluate it, and if you evaluate yourself in a loving way, you may as well end in happiness. I pulled another card for Aquarius because I didn't want them to stay with this failure card. You still can take shelter in your emotions and in your self-love towards yourself. Look at this full moon. You can enjoy it. You still can enjoy it. Okay? Now for Pisces, another Pentacles card, and it's 5 of Pentacles. And it's called worry. So it's not even about perceiving yourself as someone who failed, but looking into the future without knowing it, and creating futures that you don't really want. That's what worry does. It doesn't really change anything. in life because we have no influence on things we worry about. But the sheer mindset you create here isn't something that serves you. So instead of dwelling in this strange emotion of worrying, I think I also pulled another card, and it's the Tower. So probably the best thing for you is not to linger to this, but either end something very abruptly, or understand this regression, what happens, that the thing that happens here, as something that liberates you. Because the Tower is a card of liberation. I know that people are afraid of Tower. You shouldn't be. There is nothing to be afraid of in any of the cards of Tarot, because Tarot is only a tool. And it's our privilege and responsibility to interpret this and to use it and to read it in the way we want. In a way, well, for me, that is safe, healthy, and also for the greatest good of all people I read for. That's why my Tower is liberation. And after all, you're happy that it happened because it pulls you out of something that is too small for you, and it puts you, perhaps in an abrupt way, but in the place you should be in. That's why it happens. That's why this change of direction, two fives, happens. It's for your greatest good, always, always. Okay? Now, Virgo, not Virgo. It's Aries, King of Cups. So it's like saying, okay, perhaps I'm not King of Wands, but still I am King of Cups. I'm gonna make it this way or another. I am good enough. I have my sins, I have my dark places, but I embrace it. King of Cups is the one who isn't afraid of emotions, even this Five of Hearts, Five of Cups, the emotion of sadness and sorrow. That's something that really put him on this throne, together with many other emotions, but they are all needed in order to be here on this high horse, triumphing over the ocean of emotions. So you are a master of emotions in this situation. Whatever happens, it's not gonna destroy you or touch you in a negative way. And then Taurus, you have Seven of Wands, so fire again. We have lots of fire in the reading, as I said. It's called Valor, so you're courageous. You're standing against this in some way. Perhaps you don't want to admit yet that this disappointment happened. There is a need to protect yourself from others, from circumstances that are not up to your expectations, and you do it because you care. You want to be King of Wands. You want to be like I said, creative and inspiring. And perhaps that's what you fight for here. You can also understand it as a sparring, some kind of exercise for you to retain your place. Okay? Gemini, Princess of Wands. This is a different attitude. It's, okay, so I'm not king. Who cares? I'm still enjoying my life. I'm going to enjoy fire in whatever form. Princess of Wands is the one who hasn't mastered the energy of fire yet, but she enjoys it so much. Look at her, at this picture. She's up high. She's looking at the stars and being together with them. She's a very happy energy, enthusiastic. So whatever happens, whatever the disappointment here, it's not going to stay for long because you're too happy with whatever you're doing, whatever you're learning. And Cancer, another fiery card, Prince of Wands. So it's similar. You say, okay, if I need to learn something more, I will. If I need to change something, I will. If I need to move, I will. No problem. It's even like it's even how do I say it? It seems you like this energy more than being the King of Wands, because King of Wands, it's sitting on his throne, having to do things. Prince doesn't have to do things. He chooses to do things. He's just very impulsive and following pleasure and passion. That's what you do. And you enjoy it, for sure. Leo. Leo has something similar to Aquarius, another 7, this time 7 of Swords, which is called futility in this deck. So you may think not very good about yourself, not pleasant thoughts. That, okay, whatever I do, I always finish like this. I tried so hard, and still I'm not able to be in this high energy of Master of Fire. And you may feel like that and sit like that and ponder. What's the sense of it? What's the reason to do it? I see no reason to do it anymore. So it's like, yeah, it's futile. And paradoxically, this may be a good path for you. Perhaps it is futile. Perhaps it's not the path you should take. Perhaps there is another path around it. Because I pulled another card for you and I have 4 of Swords. So it's like this admitting, okay, this was futile, is bringing you peace within yourself. So don't push it away. Just be in it, with it. And check how you feel when you admit, okay, some things in my life are futile. Perhaps I need to find another way. But not now. Now I'm just sitting with it. It can be a very healing energy, I feel. Okay? And finally, Virgo. I like the card of Virgo. You have change. 2 of Pentacles. It's like, okay, there is regression here. I feel sadness, I feel sorrow. Business as usual. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. It doesn't change the course of my life, which is what I choose. I am choosing the course of my life. And I know that sometimes there are better days, and sometimes there are worse days. What does it change? Change is imminent, and you know it. That's why it's not gonna influence you in a negative way. Okay? You're gonna take it as a master, as a champion. That was the word I was wanting to use. Okay, so this is the message from Tarot. But I also had the urge to use multiple oracle decks. And here's what I had. Here's what I received. First, I received Peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. This is from Angels and Ancestors oracle deck. I'm going to find it now. Peacekeeper. 58. I'm going to read it to you. The message from ancestors and angels. Choose peace and happiness over the need to be right. Rather than trying to prove a point, save your energy for what's important. So don't stick to the King of Wands energy if someone tells you you're not King of Wands. Say, okay, maybe I'm not. You may be feeling on edge due to a stressful situation. There is a warrior within you that wants to rise up, prove your point, and get the truth across. But you're being reminded by ancestor wisdom that truth will always be revealed in the end. It's more important at this time to avoid arguments or heated discussions, where you know you'll be fighting a losing battle. There is much more power in choosing to move forward from a higher perspective. This will allow you to connect deeply to the guidance within you and the intuition that will lead you towards the healing of the whole situation, along with any wounds it may have inflicted on you. Choose peace. You know it's calling you. So first, choose peace in the time of fire. It may be difficult, I think. Another card is from wonderful Mystic Shaman Oracle. And for the third time, when I'm doing public readings, I was doing them in Polish already. This time, the first time in English. The giveaway. A beautiful message of the gift of the soul, gift of the heart. The giveaway. I'm going to read it to you, of course. Number 23. Funny how it reappears. The giveaway is the gift you offer to life without attachment, without expecting anything back. You can only give what is truly yours: a smile, a nod of encouragement, a gentle touch, and a kind word. This is not giving to others what you no longer want, like the sweater that no longer fits, but gifting that which is most precious, your authentic love and genuine feelings. And there's kind of exercise here for us, and I like it, and I'm going to share it with you. Make a list of 10 people and things for which you are grateful. Connect with the feeling of gratitude. The giveaway comes to ask you to feel the same gratitude without needing anything or anyone to inspire it, and to share this gratitude with those you meet. As you offer thanks, your heart opens, and you start realizing how much life has given you. You heal your feelings of scarcity and open yourself to the abundance that surrounds you. The giveaway invites you to be in the flow of life as you give freely and receive freely. The third card is from Work Your Light Oracle cards, and this is a warrior woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? It asks. I'm gonna find it. Warrior woman is also 56. 56. I like the image very much. You are here for a reason. You are being called to bravely pave a path. Have you answered your highest and deepest calling? Living a heart and soul-led life is not a fluffy and smooth sailing. Perhaps that's why there's disappointment here, right? Living a heart and soul-led life requires courage to triumph over fear. So often our fears are the gatekeepers to our greatest gifts, and the more resistance we have toward answering a call, the more important it is to our soul's growth. Sometimes fear is an indication that we are facing the right way. Joan of Arc was known for her courage and her famous line, "I am not afraid, I was born to do this." But the thing about courage is that it is not possible without fear. So if you are feeling afraid, what is needed is courage. And courage comes from living from the heart. Think of your fears as opportunities to expand rather than things that are holding you hostage. If you look at your fears in this light then, as uncomfortable as it might feel, it's actually a sign that you are on the right track. I like this statement that courage isn't possible without fear. And fear is a great guide, always. Okay, and the last card comes from Shamanic Healing Oracle. And it's funny because it's very contradictive to this Five of Hearts that appeared here, because this card is called Joy. And it goes like this, and I love it because it says that joy without sorrow also doesn't taste that well. Listen, we are created in joy. The balance of energy and higher vibrations brings us closer to divine love, pure joy. Joy can be a destination, but it can also be the vehicle that you use to get to that destination. Faith, grace, gratitude, and love all merge together at different times and in different amounts to create joy. And now, listen to this. There is love, growth, tears, change, and self-realization in this card. And this card portends a happy and joyous time. So take everything that happens in your life, because it's like a precious spice in your life. Even that sorrow, that Five of Hearts, it's a precious spice that makes joy even more wonderful. And I wish you joy, and I wish you happiness, and I wish you a beautiful full moon in Libra on that day. And I hope I see you in the reading for the weekend. Until then, bye bye.